Hello everybody, welcome back to another managed training session. Today we're going to be running through all things end of financial year as our end of financial year is starting to approach for our 23 and 24 period. How to best navigate all of the question and answers that you might get from your owners, or how to navigate seeing those end of financial year statements within the system. We're going to be running through a few different tutorials as well regarding how to read your statements, how to get a statement when it comes to unarchived properties or archived properties. And a few things today. So I will have a time-stamped little screen up now, which is going to go through when certain things are going to be addressed. If you want to skip ahead, you can skip ahead, or you can just continue to watch the full video. Starting off with the main thing that comes to end of financial year statements, which people may not think or take into consideration, is ensuring that your owner's details are correct. Sometimes when it comes to adding a property into the system, we might not put the owner's full name, forget a middle name, or depending on their different nationality, we might not put the correct name based on their license or their birth certificate and just put in potentially a nickname. We might add one owner and we might not add the other, or we might not have the company information correct as well. Another little thing is sometimes that we forget is when it comes to disabling owners' notifications, sometimes people do go and add a little plus in front of his owner's email. If that is the case, the owner is not going to get that end of financial year statement sent to them efficiently. So the number one thing when it comes down to preparing yourselves for financial year comes at the point when you're adding in a brand new property into the system. So just making sure that you're getting all of the owner information correct and added onto the system correctly, whether it be primary owner, secondary owner, company owner. Just making sure that that information is correctly added when you are adding in a brand new property. We're going to run through now some of the main questions that do get asked regarding end of financial year statement. First one being is, do I, as a property manager, need to manually do anything when it comes to the income and expenditure of the property and generating the report? The answer is no. The beauty about managed is that this system is going to correlate all of that income and expenditure for that last financial year for you. It's going to generate that report. It's also going to email that report to the owner automatically. Now, second question is, when do those end of financial year statements get sent? They will usually get sent within the first couple of days of July. So it's going to take all of the data up until the end of June. And then it's going to start to process those reports, generate them, and send them as of the 1st of July. Some owners may not get it until the 3rd of July. It just depends, but it definitely does get sent within the first couple of days of the July. When do they get uploaded into the system? Same thing. They do get uploaded sort of within those first couple of days of July. Where do they get uploaded? They get uploaded under the owner's property reports tab. So you can access it as a property manager on your side. An owner can also access it as an owner under their property profile. Now they will have to go, if they have multiple properties, into each individual property profile to get the separate reports. Keeping in mind, when a owner has multiple investments, they will receive an email based on the investments that they have, or email report of the investments they have. So it isn't going to consolidate. If they had 10 properties, it's not going to send one email with all 10 reports. They're going to get a single email with a report attached for every property that they have listed in managed. How can an owner access their end of financial year statement? Well, firstly, they are going to receive that email. But if they by any chance happen to miss that email, what they can do is they can log into their managed profile. They can go to the reports tab of the property profile and then download it under the heading, which is end of financial year report. It's going to have previous years if they happen to mix their tax for the last 2 years and they're now realizing that they need to come and do it. They can download previous year reports if they need to in either a PDF or a CSV format. If they needed every monthly statement by any chance, they could also download that as well under the monthly statements heading. We're going to also run through how to if archived properties do still get generated the end of financial year reports. The answer is yes. So all of the properties that have been archived within that last financial year are going to still receive that end of financial year statement for that last financial year. Now, if they require that PDF and you need to access it as a property management point of view, because again, they might not have got that email correctly, how to do so, I'm going to run through those steps now. So if an archived property owner hasn't received that end of financial year statement, how you as a property manager are going to find that and send that off to them. So what you're going to do is you're going to jump into your property profile. You're going to select the properties tab, and then you are going to choose the filters tab. Once you choose the filters tab, you're going to tick under the property heading, include archive, and then select apply. That's going to bring up all of the properties in the system as well as the archived properties. Once you do that, you're going to search for the property that you need to find the report for or send that report for. Once you've done that, you're going to go to the reports tab right up the top. Find their end of financial year statement. You're going to click the download button, so whether it be the PDF or the CSV version. Once you download that, that's going to save to your computer or your desktop. Then you will just need to, via your own emailing system, send an email to the owner with that attachment. That is also the exact same way that you will do so if you have your unarchived or your normal property in the system, which is an active property. Same process. You'll search for the property, you'll go to the reports tab, find that end of financial year report and download it, and then email it to the owner. But obviously, to save yourself and your company on time and admin work, you can let your owners know that they can log into their managed app and they can get that end of financial year report themselves. So potentially a fun little tip that your agency might do is you could create a little video or some how-to steps for your owners in terms of preparing them for end of financial year coming up and how they can access that document in their system, how to log in, how to go to their reports tab, how to get that report for them. Keeping in mind that they are going to be emailed, so you might let them know via that email that it's going to be emailed to them, but in the instance that they don't get it, how they can log in to manage and access it themselves. Next, we're going to be running through how to read your end of financial year statement. So this is how your end of financial year statement will look. In the top left-hand corner, it's going to tell you the end of financial year report and the year. Beneath it, it's going to show the property address, the ownership details, and then the contact address if there is one. Starting off, you can see that it has firstly the income for the property. Now it's going to be sectioned off into two main categories. The first one, the first line item, is going to always be rent. So the rent that has come in per month as that total figure, you can see the columns move across with that increasing or ascending order of the months of the year. So starting off with July 2022 and then finishing on June 2023. So the first line item is going to be the income for the month. Now, following that is going to be all of the additional expenses. So for my property here, I have only received bills from the tenants in the form of water rates and usage. So if I had any additional line items, say for example, like electricity or sundry rental expenses, or maybe the tenants reimbursed me a portion of the strata levies if they pay a percentage of the strata, or I pay it in full and they reimburse me, just depending on your structure. The different headings would appear below. So I only have water rates and usage, but depending on what bills the tenants have paid back to you, as an owner will appear under the different line items that the property manager has scheduled the bill to fall under, and then those will show up here as well under the income in that separate line item. Now off to the right hand side you can see the total for each, and then it's going to give you a monthly total below and then a total money in on that right hand side. And then below is your expenditure. So you can see below, starting off, it's going to include the management fees, so all of the management fees that were paid per month. And then finally on the end, it's going to give you that total across the financial year. And then like I said before, depending on the bills that have been entered into the system, you can see below with my expenditure, there have been a little bit more bills added in under different categories. So I've had sundry fees when it comes to expenditure, water rates, council rates, insurance, maintenance, all different types. So as you can see, per line item, it's going to tell me based on what month, what I have paid. And then right down the below, it's going to give you the monthly total. Right to the far end of the right hand side, it's going to give me the total per the year. So this is the monthly total here. This is the yearly total here. And then right down the bottom, it's going to give me a total money out. So how much I have paid over that financial year, how much I received, and then right down below, it's going to give me the net position. So that net position is obviously the money coming in, and then deducting the money going out, giving me that final balance. So that is how you read an end of financial year statement. It's pretty straightforward in terms of what the owner can see they have received and what they have paid. Now, if the owners do need a monthly statement, they want further clarification of maybe the different monies that they got per month, they can go and download their monthly statements under the reports tab. I'm going to wrap it up today with some of those helpful tips in regards to, again, preparing yourselves as a property manager or an agency when it comes to tax time. I guess those three main things. Firstly, starting off with ensuring that those owners' details are correct. So when you're adding a property into the system from the get-go, just make sure we're adding all of the owners, the correct details, phone number, contact, name, email. So they, one, ensure that the statement is actually correct with the correct information, but two, they're also getting that email sent to them correctly. If the email is incorrect in Manage, they're obviously not going to get the statement when it gets sent to them. The second thing is I would always probably suggest as well, potentially sending the owners a message, whether it be a week or two before end of financial year, the process of what those statements are going to look like and when they're going to be sent, and potentially as well including in that email some tips on how they can log in and download the reports in the instance that the email doesn't come through sufficiently as well. Hopefully these tips and tricks have helped and have answered some of your questions. If you have any additional ones, please feel free to pop them through and our team can obviously help address them accordingly, whether it be via our help chat through the system or to this video or post. So thank you.